needle drops bass thumps, incense burning slow, midnight smoking vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah. Flipping through the crates at 1:30 a.m. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'm zen. In this moment digging for that perfect break. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'll take this dusty record home and chop it into beats. Midnight smoking vinyl complete is this ritual of searching through forgotten sounds. Midnight smoking vinyl, I found my sanctuary in these stacks of wax tonight. Midnight smoking vinyl, despite the late hour, my creative energy is peaking. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'm seeking that elusive sample that'll make my whole track now. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'll stock my shelves with treasures that most people overlook. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'm hooked on this culture, digging through the past for gold. Something about the crackle sets the vibe. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'm alive when I'm sampling from these dusty old records. Midnight smoking vinyl, I've checked every bin and every shop within 100 miles. Midnight smoking vinyl, yo, that's the only way I know how to make these beats that hit your soul, yeah. Midnight smoking vinyl, oh, night sessions in the basement with my MPC. Midnight smoking vinyl, I see the vision come together loop by loop tonight. Midnight smoking vinyl, despite the world sleeping, I'm awake creating art here. Midnight smoking vinyl, I swear there's magic in the combination of old and new. Midnight smoking vinyl, it's true that hip-hop built its foundation on this practice. Midnight smoking vinyl, the fact is that nothing beats the warmth of analog sound waves. Yeah, got my headphones on, I'm chopping up this sample. Oh, midnight smoking vinyl, example of dedication's what my neighbors see each night. Midnight smoking vinyl, despite complaints, I'll keep this going till the sun comes up. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'll sup on inspiration flowing from these vintage grooves. Midnight smoking vinyl, it proves that everything old becomes new again with time. Midnight smoking vinyl, sublime is the art of flipping dusty breaks into fresh heat. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'll beat the drum machine until my fingers go completely numb. Maybe I'm addicted to this digging lifestyle. Midnight smoking vinyl, meanwhile the rest of the world is sleeping peacefully. Midnight smoking vinyl, I see that some of us were built for these nocturnal sessions. Midnight smoking vinyl, confessions of a beat maker who can't stop, won't stop creating. Midnight smoking vinyl, relating to the producers who came before and paved the way. Midnight smoking vinyl, I'll stay up all night if that's what making magic takes. Midnight smoking vinyl, the breaks I find tonight might be classics tomorrow morning. Yeah, so I'll keep digging, keep chopping, keep creating. Midnight smoking vinyl, waiting for that moment when the perfect loop reveals itself. Midnight smoking vinyl, my wealth is measured in the samples that I've carefully collected. Midnight smoking vinyl, connected to the lineage of hip-hop's greatest beat makers. Midnight smoking vinyl, creators who understand that this is more than just a hobby. Midnight smoking vinyl, yo, still the only way I know how to capture feeling in these beats I make. Yeah, midnight smoking vinyl, awake to sunrise chasing sounds and move the spirit right. Midnight smoking vinyl, tonight another masterpiece is born from dusty records. Midnight smoking vinyl, I've checked my collection twice and found exactly what I needed. Midnight smoking vinyl, skis it in creating something timeless from the past remains. Midnight smoking vinyl, it stays forever in my DNA, this culture that I love. Midnight smoking vinyl, above all other methods, this is how real hip-hop's made. Every digger in the basement late at night. Midnight smoking vinyl, we write the future using pieces of the past we found. Midnight smoking vinyl, the sound of hip-hop lives forever in these dusty grooves. Yeah. Morning brew and piano keys, pen hits paper, coffee, jazz, and old rhymes. Yeah. Pour another cup while Coltrane plays in the background. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes I found my perfect writing atmosphere in a small cafe. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes I'll stay. You're scribbling verses till my notebook's full of ink. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes I think that creativity flows better with caffeine and horn. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes. I'm torn between writing more or just sitting here and listening. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes. Listening, all the words that come when music sets the mood just right. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, despite the noise around me, I'm locked into this creative zone. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes. I'm prone to spend an entire afternoon just writing bars here. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes appear like magic when the elements align perfectly. Something about this combination sparks the muse. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes I choose. They're setting over silence every single time. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes sublime is the way that music influences what I write. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes. That's my creative flow when I need to write something real and deep, yeah. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll keep this ritual going as long as I'm breathing here. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'm clear that this is where my best work always gets created. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, updated is my notebook with another page of consciousness. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, goddess of inspiration, visit me in this coffee house setting. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'm getting lost in the zone where words flow effortlessly. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I see that this is meditates for the lyrical mind. Espresso hits different when Miles Davis is playing. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'm saying that there's magic in this atmosphere I've cultivated. Yeah, coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, created all the verses that define my entire catalog. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll jog my memory with another sip of this dark rose. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll toast to every writer who's found their zone in places like this. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, there's bliss in the combination of these three essential elements. Maybe I'm romanticizing the writing process. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, confess that this is just procrastination with aesthetic. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, poetic is the way I justify spending hours here daily. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, mainly I just love the way this setting makes me feel inspired. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, required is this ritual for me to access my creativity. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I see that environment matters more than I admitted. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, committed to this practice as long as words need to be written. So I'll keep coming back to this same corner table. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'm able to produce my finest work when I'm sitting right here. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'm clear that this is my creative sanctuary and safe haven. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'm craving another session like this one every single day. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll stay devoted to this practice that has served me well. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, yo, still my favorite way to go when I need to tap into my truest voice, yeah. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, my choice of setting influence everything I create here. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I swear that this combination unlocks parts of my brain. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll maintain this ritual as long as I'm writing verses down. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I found my perfect creative ecosystem in this space. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, embrace the process and the product will take care of itself. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, my wealth is measured in the pages that I filled with words. To every writer with their favorite coffee spot. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, we've got our sanctuaries where creativity flows free. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll be here every morning doing what I love most. Coffee spot. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, we've got Our sanctuaries where creativity flows free. Coffee, jazz, and old rhymes, I'll be here every morning doing what I love most. Horn section wails, truth spills out. Saxophone Confessions. Yeah, let me tell you stories over this horn melody. Saxophone Confessions. Honestly, I've been holding back these truths for far too long. Saxophone Confessions. This song is where I finally admit what I've been hiding. Saxophone Confessions. I'm riding this wave of vulnerability the music brings. Saxophone Confessions. It sings what my mouth can't say when I'm just talking plain. Saxophone Confessions. I'll explain my deepest fears and hopes over these jazzy notes. Saxophone Confessions. It floats above the beat like smoke rings in a dimly lit room. Saxophone Confessions. I'll assume you're listening close because these words are heavy. Saxophone Confessions. I'm ready to bare my soul over this beautiful instrumental. Something about the horn makes me honest here. Saxophone Confessions. I'm clear that music gives me courage to speak my truth. Saxophone Confessions. From you till now have been my therapy and my release. Saxophone Confessions. Yo, letting everything flow over these jazz chords that set my spirit free. Yeah, Saxophone Confessions. I see that honesty sounds better with the horn section backing. Saxophone Confessions. I'm cracking open my chest and showing you what's really inside. Saxophone Confessions. I'll hide nothing when the music gives me space to be real. Saxophone Confessions. I feel everything more deeply when the saxophone plays. Saxophone Confessions. I'll praise the power of music to unlock what we suppress. Saxophone Confessions. Confess every secret that I've carried in my heart alone. Truth is I've been lost for longer than I've let on. Saxophone Confession. I've gone through motions while pretending everything's okay. Saxophone Confession. I'll say that vulnerability is harder than I thought it'd be. Saxophone Confession. I see that opening up requires more courage than I had. Saxophone Confession. I'm glad the music gives me cover for these admissions here. Saxophone Confession. I'm clear that some things need to be said even when they hurt. Maybe the horn is speaking what I cannot say. Saxophone Confessions convey emotions that transcend the limitations of language. Saxophone Confessions manage to articulate the feelings words can never capture. Saxophone Confessions chapter after chapter of my story told through jazz and rap. Saxophone Confessions, I'll map my journey through the notes that fill this composition. Saxophone Confessions issue myself to be as honest as the music allows. Saxophone Confessions, I vow to keep it real as long as these horns keep playing. So here's my final truth before this song ends. Saxophone Confessions. My friends, I'm grateful for the music that has saved my life. Saxophone Confessions. Despite the pain these truths reveal, I'm better for admitting. Saxophone Confessions. I'm sitting with discomfort that comes from being vulnerable. Saxophone Confessions. I'm full of gratitude for this opportunity to speak my truth. Saxophone Confessions, yo. Everything I need to know gets clearer when the music plays behind my words, yeah. Saxophone Confessions. I've heard that honesty is healing if we're brave enough. Saxophone Confessions. This stuff of vulnerability makes us human and alive. Saxophone Confessions. I thrive by continuing to speak my truth over these horns. Saxophone Confessions. I'm torn between protection and authenticity always. Saxophone Confessions. I praise the courage it takes to be real in public space. Saxophone Confessions. Embrace the discomfort because growth lives on the other side. To everyone who's ever used music to confess. Saxophone Confession. I'm blessed to have this outlet for the truths I need to speak. Saxophone Confession. You need is the power of music to unlock what we hide.
Kick, snare, minor keys, Hip-hop meets melancholy.
Boom bap and blue notes. Boom bap and blue notes. Boom bap and blue notes.
Producing sadness with a groove you can nod to.
Boom bap and blue notes.
It's true that hip-hop was built on mining pain for beauty.
Boom bap and blue notes.
My duty is to capture feeling in these drums and chords.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Towards a sound that makes you think while making your head bob.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I rob the minor scale for every ounce of emotion.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Devotion to the craft of making music that hits the soul.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'm whole when I'm creating beats that carry weight and meaning.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'm leaning into sadness with a rhythm that won't quit tonight.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Despite the melancholy, these drums still make you move your body.
Something about the contrast hits different here.
Boom bap and blue notes appear to capture contradictions of the human experience.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Appearance of joy and pain existing in the same space. Boom bap and blue notes. Yo, that's the only sound I know how to make that feels authentic to my life. Yeah.
Boom bap and blue notes.
The strife of living gets processed through these drums and keys.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'll seize every opportunity to merge the sad and groovy.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Truly, this is where hip-hop's heart beats strongest and most real.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I feel the weight of generations in this sound I'm crafting.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'm laughing through the pain because that's how we've always coped.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'll hope that someone hears this and feels us alone tonight. Chopping up a sample that sounds like crying strings. Boom bap and blue notes. It brings the perfect mood for verses about struggle and survival. Boom bap and blue notes. Arrival of the sound marked hip-hop's transition into art. Boom bap and blue notes. My heart beats in 4/4 time with minor chord progressions. Boom bap and blue notes. Confessions sound better over beats that understand the pain. Boom bap and blue notes. I'll maintain this tradition of making beauty out of suffering. Boom bap and blue notes. With them I can process pain while still maintaining forward motion.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Emotion gets channeled into something productive and creative.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Native is this language to those of us who grew up struggling.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Juggling the darkness and the light in every single bar.
Boom bap and blue notes.
So far, this combination has defined my entire sound.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I found my voice in the space between the joy and pain. Yeah. So I'll keep making beats that make you feel and think.
Boom bap and blue notes.
The link between emotion and percussion is hip-hop's foundation.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Creation happens in the tension between sadness and the groove.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'll prove that melancholy music doesn't have to be depressing.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'm blessing every track with honesty wrapped in rhythm tight.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Yo, still the only way I know how to express the fullness of this life I'm living, yeah.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'm giving everything I have to this tradition that raised me.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Amazingly, the sound still hits as hard as it did 20 years back.
Boom bap and blue notes.
I'll pack my beats with feeling till there's no more room to breathe out.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Believe that this is how hip-hop soul gets transmitted forward.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Toward a future where the groove and sadness still coexist through every trend, because the sound is timeless truth. Every producer making beats with feeling.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Revealing our humanity through drums and minor melodies. I keep
Boom bap and blue notes.
the keys to hip-hop's heart forever and always will be.
Boom bap and blue notes.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Yeah. Circle forms, horns warm up. Yeah. Mics get passed around. Yeah. Late night jazz, Cypher. Yeah. Yeah. Gathered in the basement where the real ones congregate.
Late night jazz Cypher. it's late, but that's where magic happens in these freestyle sessions. Late night jazz cypher confessions flow freely when the band is tight and the vibe is right. Night jazz cypher. Tonight we're building something special that won't be recorded. Late night jazz cypher. Afforded is the luxury of creating purely for the love. Late night jazz cypher. Above commercial considerations, we're just making art here. Late night jazz cypher. I swear this is where hip-hop's essence lives and breathes most freely. Late night jazz cypher. Really, the only rules are bring your skills and respect the craft. Late night jazz cypher. I laugh with fellow MCs trading bars over literature. Late jazz cypher. Something about the live band elevates the cypher. Late night jazz cypher. I'm hyper, focused when the bass and drums are played by human hands. Late night jazz cypher. It stands apart from every other session that I've been to. Late night jazz cypher. Yo, where the real MCs go to sharpen up their skills and test their worth. Late night jazz cypher. Earth, yeah. Late night jazz cypher. Birth, place of some of hip-hop's greatest moments ever witnessed. Night jazz cypher. This is where legends are made and pretenders get exposed. Late night jazz cypher. It shows exactly who can really spit and who's just frontin'. Late night jazz cypher. I'm hunting for the perfect metaphor to close my 16 bars. Late night jazz cypher. The stars align when music and poetry become one thing. Late night jazz cypher. I'll bring my absolute best because anything less is disrespectful. Yo, watching as a saxophone player sets the tempo. Late night jazz cypher. Instrumental communication happening between the band and rapper. Late night jazz cypher. After this I never wanna rhyme over program beats again. Night jazz cypher. My friend, the energy in this room is absolutely electric. Late night jazz cypher. Eclectic is the crowd of artists gathered here from different scenes. Late night jazz cypher. It means something to be invited to participate in this. Late night jazz cypher. I'll make is maybe this is how hip-hop was meant to be experienced. Late night jazz cypher. I've been sent back to the essence through this organic collaboration. Late night jazz cypher. Creation happens in real time with no chance for second take. Late night jazz cypher. High stakes, freestyling over live jazz separates the real from fake. Late night jazz cypher. I'll make my contribution memorable before I pass the mic. Late night jazz cypher. Tonight, I'm witnessing the fusion of two great art forms merging. Late night jazz cypher. Emerging is a sound that represents hip-hop's truest nature. Yeah, so I'll keep showing up to these late night sessions. Late night jazz cypher. Confessions of an MC who fell in love with the art form deeply. Late night jazz cypher. I'll keep me sharp by testing my skills against the best around. Late night jazz cypher. The sound, the lyrics you live sight brings out my highest level. Late night jazz cypher. I juggle up every time I step into this sacred circle here. Late night jazz cypher. Yo, this is where we go to remember why we fell in love with hip-hop first. Yeah, late night jazz cypher. Immersed in the culture at its purest, most essential form. Late night jazz cypher. The norm is excellence when everyone assembled is a master. Late night jazz cypher. Faster and more complex the wordplay gets as night wears on. Late night jazz cypher. To dawn, we'll be here trading verses over horns and upright bass. Late jazz cypher. This place is holy ground for anyone who takes the craft serious. Late night jazz cypher. Mysterious is how the magic happens when the elements align right. To everyone who's ever rocked a jazz cypher session. Late night jazz cypher. Bless us. To witness hip-hop in its most organic pure state. Late night jazz cypher. I'll wait all week for Thursday night when we gather and create.
Hey. Circle forms, horns warm up, mics get passed around. Late night jazz cypher. Gathered in the basement where the real ones congregate. Late night jazz cypher, it's late, but that's when magic happens in these freestyle sessions. Late night jazz cypher confessions. Flow freely when the band is tight and the vibe is right. Late night jazz cypher tonight. We're building something special that won't be recorded. Late night jazz cypher afforded is the luxury of creating purely for the love. Late night jazz cypher above commercial considerations, we're just making art here. Late night jazz cypher, I swear this is where hip-hop's essence lives and breathes most freely. Late night jazz cypher, really, the only rules are bring your skills and respect the craft. Late night jazz cypher, I'll laugh with fellow MCs, trading bars over lifting in the trade. Something about the live band elevates the cypher. Late night jazz cypher, I'm hyper focused when the bass and drums are played by a human hand. Late night jazz cypher, it stands apart from every other session that I've been to. Late night jazz cypher, yeah. Where the real MCs go to sharpen up their skills and test their worth, yeah. Late night jazz cypher, birthplace of some of hip-hop's greatest moments ever witnessed. Late night jazz cypher is where legends are made and pretenders get exposed. Late night jazz cypher, it shows exactly who can really spit and who's just frontin'. Late night jazz cypher, I'm hunting for the perfect metaphor to close my 16 bars. Late night jazz cypher, the stars align when music and poetry become one thing. Late night jazz cypher, I'll bring my absolute best because anything less is disrespectful. Watching as the saxophone player sets the tempo. Late night jazz cypher, instrumental communication happening between the band and rapper. Late night jazz cypher, after this I'll never wanna rhyme over programmed beats again. Late night jazz cypher, my friend, the energy in this room is absolutely electric. Late night jazz cypher, eclectic is the crowd of artists gathered here from different scenes. Late night jazz cypher, it means something to be invited to participate in this. Maybe this is how hip-hop was meant to be experienced. Late night jazz cypher, I've been sent back to the essence through this organic collaboration. Late night jazz cypher, creation happens in real time with no chance for second takes. Late night jazz cypher, high stakes, freestyling over live jazz separates the real from fake. Late night jazz cypher, I'll make my contribution memorable before I pass the mic, yeah. Late night jazz cypher, tonight I'm witnessing the fusion of two great art forms merging. Late night jazz cypher, emerging is a sound that represents hip-hop's truest nature. So I'll keep showing up to these late night sessions. Late night jazz cypher, confessions of an MC who fell in love with the art form. Late night jazz cypher, I'll keep me sharp by testing my skills against the best around. Late night jazz cypher, the sound of the late night jazz show brings out my highest level. Late night jazz cypher, I jebble up every time I step into this sacred circle here. Late night jazz cypher, yo, this is where we go to remember why we fell in love with hip-hop first. Late night jazz cypher, immersed in the culture at its purest, most essential form. Late night jazz cypher, the norm is excellence when everyone assembled is a master. Late night jazz cypher, faster and more complex the wordplay gets as night wears on. Late night jazz cypher, yeah, till dawn we'll be here trading verses over horns and upright. Late night jazz cypher, this place is holy ground for anyone who takes the craft serious. Late night jazz cypher, mysterious is how the magic happens when the elements align right. Late night jazz cypher, yeah, to everyone who's ever rocked a jazz cypher session. Late night jazz cypher, blessing to witness hip-hop in its most organic pure state. Late night jazz cypher, I'll wait all week for Thursday night when we gather and create.
Taking the express train with my headphones bumping, swinging through the city, jumping from borough to borough with the jazz as my soundtrack. Yeah. Swinging through the city, in fact, this is the only way I know how to cope. Swinging through the city en route to somewhere, but the journey matters more than destination.
Swinging through the city, creation.
A meaning happens in the spaces in between.
Swinging through the city, I've seen
1,000 different lives pass by me on this train.
Swinging through the city,
I'll maintain my cool despite the chaos that surrounds me daily.
Swinging through the city,
Mainly, I'm just observing how this urban life unfolds.
Swinging through the city,
Behold, the beauty in the ordinary if you pay attention. Something about this motion keeps me grounded here.
Swinging through the city,
I'm clear that movement is my meditation in this place.
Swinging through the city,
Embrace the rhythm of the streets becomes my heartbeat now. Yeah.
Swinging through the city,
Yo, that's the only way to go. When you're living in the middle of the action here, yeah.
Swinging through the city, I'm near.
My destination, but I'm taking the scenic route.
Swinging through the city, no doubt
That this is where I'm meant to be right now, tonight.
Swinging through the city, despite
the noise and chaos, I found my element here.
Swinging through the city, I'm clear.
That urban life suits my personality perfectly, yeah.
Swinging through the city,
I see the beauty in the hustle that most people overlook.
swinging through the city,
I'm hooked on this lifestyle that never sleeps or slows down, never. Walking through Manhattan with the bebop in my ears.
swinging through the city,
No fears about getting lost because I know these streets by heart.
swinging through the city,
The art of navigation is something I've perfected over years.
swinging through the city, I'm here.
For all of it, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly.
Swinging through the city,
I'll hug thee, this urban landscape like a lover that I cherish deeply.
swinging through the city completely.
At home in this environment that others find too much. Maybe I was built for city living all
Swinging
alone.
through the city,
This song of horns and traffic is my natural habitat.
swinging through the city,
Imagine that some people thrive in spaces where their energy is high. I fly through crowds like I'm dancing to an invisible beat.
swinging through the city,
The street is my stage and every day's a new performance voice.
swinging through the city,
Importance of staying present in the moment can't be overstated.
swinging through the city,
I've waited all my life to find a place that matches my frequency. So I'll keep moving through these streets with purpose.
swinging through the city,
The surface, the level chaos hides the beauty that exists beneath.
swinging through the city,
I'll breathe this urban air like it's the purest oxygen around.
swinging through the city,
I found my rhythm in the constant motion of this place.
swinging through the city,
Embrace the energy that pulses through these avenues and blocks.
swinging through the city,
Yo, still the only way I know how to exist in this chaotic paradise, yeah.
swinging through the city,
Precise is how I navigate the labyrinth of streets and sounds, yeah.
swinging through the city,
I found my home in this unlikely sanctuary of concrete.
swinging through the city,
The beat of urban life matches the tempo of my soul exactly.
swinging through the city,
I'm tracking every moment of this journey through the place I love, yeah.
swinging through the city,
Above all other places, this is where I'm meant to be alive.
swinging through the city,
I'll thrive in this environment that feeds my creative spirit daily. To everyone who's found their rhythm in the city, so pretty is the chaos when you learn to dance with it. Swinging it through the city,
swinging through the city,
I'll sit with this forever. This is where my heart resides.
swinging through the city,
Calm and mute whispers. Miles in my headphone. That is trumpet dreams.
Falling asleep to the sound of subdued brass tones. Tilted trumpet dreams, I'm prone to drifting into visions. Soundtrack by cool jazz. To the trumpet dreams, it has this quality of turning sleep into an art form here. To the trumpet dreams, I'm clear that this is how my subconscious prefers to wander. To the trumpet dreams, I ponder life's big questions while these mellow notes play on. To the trumpet dreams, I'm drawn into a state between awake and sleeping deeply. To the trumpet dreams, completely lax is how I feel when brass is muted soft. To the trumpet dreams, out loft on clouds of sound, I'm floating through the night sky. To the trumpet dreams, I'll fly to places that exist only in my imagination. Yeah. Something about the softness sets my mind free. To the trumpet dreams, I see visions that only come when music guides my sleep. To the trumpet dreams, run deep into my psyche where the truest thoughts reside. To the trumpet dreams, yo, that's where I always go when I need rest from this chaotic life I lead. To the trumpet dreams, I'm free from daily stress when brass plays softly in my ears. To the trumpet dreams appear like visitors from some dimension made of sound alone. To the trumpet dreams, I'm shown a world where everything moves slowly and with grace. To the trumpet dreams, embrace my consciousness and carry me to peaceful places. Set the trumpet dreams, these spaces between the notes hold mysteries I'll never solve. Set the trumpet dreams revolve around me like a cocoon made of mellow brass. Yeah. Every night I put on kind of blue before I sleep. Set the trumpet dreams, run deep through my unconscious mind, creating landscapes strange. Set the trumpet dreams, I'll change my sheets to silk because the music demands luxury. Set the trumpet dreams, I'll be forever grateful for this nightly ritual I keep. Set the trumpet dreams, I'll sleep more soundly knowing that the brass will guide my vision. Set the trumpet dreams, decisions made in this state always turn out right somehow. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'm addicted to the streaming soundtracks. To the trumpet dreams, in fact, I can't imagine sleeping without Miles playing softly. To the trumpet dreams, I'll swim. The music stops and silence fills my bedroom space. To the trumpet dreams, I'll trace my way back to this feeling every single night. To the trumpet dreams, despite the world's insistence that I need complete silence. To the trumpet dreams, defiance against convincing is what makes my sleep so sick. The trumpet dreams complete. It's how I feel when brass and sleep combine as one. So the trumpet dreams distant. Tomorrow's obligations tonight and floating fate. So I'll keep falling asleep to these subdued horn tones. It's the trumpet dreams I'm prone to living in the state between the real and imagined. So the trumpet dreams, what's happened is I found the perfect soundtrack for my nightly rest. It's the trumpet dreams I'm blessed to have discovered this combination that works perfectly. It's the trumpet dreams I see that sleep is better when it's scored by muted brass. I need this music playing. To the trumpet dreams I'm staying loyal to this practice that has served me very well. To the trumpet dreams I'll dwell in this space between conscious and sleep forever. To the trumpet dreams I'll never give up this ritual that brings me so much peace. To the trumpet dreams release me from the stress of day into the calm of night. To the trumpet dreams despite tomorrow's obligations, tonight I'm floating free. To everyone who sleeps with music playing softly. To the trumpet dreams I'll be forever grateful for discovering this practice. To the trumpet dreams of practice that some of us need sounds right for
Low and rumbling. Dialogue without words. Bassline Conversations.
Listen to the way the upright speaks in the mix. Bassline conversation, it's fixed. Add on telling stories that the other instruments can't say. Bassline conversations, I'll stay right here listening to what the low end is expressing.
Bassline conversations confessing truths that only four strings and a wooden body know. Bassline conversations, they flow like dialogue between old friends who understand each other. Bassline conversations, no other instrument can ground a track the way that bass does. Bassline conversations, because the foundation matters more than decoration ever could. Bassline conversations, I should pay more attention to the parts that most people ignore. Bassline conversations, what's more important than the rhythm that the bottom provides here? Something about the low end speaks to my soul. Bassline conversations, I'm whole when I can feel the bass vibrating in my chest. Bassline conversations are best. Music always features prominent bottom end. Oh, hey, bassline conversations, yo, yeah, that's the way to really know what a track is trying to communicate. Yeah, bassline conversations create the framework that allows the other parts to shine. Bassline conversations, I find that listening to bass reveals the song's true meaning. Bassline conversations, I'm leaning into the low end to hear what it's saying clearly. Bassline conversations, I'm nearly obsessed with how the bass communicates in jazz. Bassline conversations, it has this quality of speaking truth through rhythm and tone. Bassline conversations alone could tell the whole story if we just listen closer. Watching as the bassist plucks and pulls the strings. And bassline conversations, it brings dimension to the music that the melody can't provide. Bassline conversations, I'll hide inside the pocket that the bass creates so perfectly. Bassline conversations, I see that some musicians speak more clearly than they ever could with words. Bassline conversations, I've heard the deepest truths communicated through four strings alone. Maybe bass is the most honest instrument. Bassline conversations, I'm in on learning this language that exists below the surface. Bassline conversations are purpose full as every note that resonates from wooden body. Bassline conversations embody everything I love about jazz music, soul and spirit. Bassline, I hear it, speaking truths that need no translation to understand. Bassline conversations, I'll stand right here in front of the bass and feeling everything. Bassline conversations, they bring me closer to the essence of what music really is. So I'll keep listening to what the bass is saying. Bassline conversations, I'm paying close attention to the dialogue happening in the low end. Bassline conversation, my friend, the bass has been trying to teach me lessons all along. Bassline conversations, this song of four strings and rhythm is the truest language. Bassline conversations, I'll manage to learn this dialect if I just listen carefully enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bassline conversations, I'll about the foundation of music and of life. Yeah, bassline conversations, despite being overlooked, the bass holds everything together. Bassline conversations, I'll never take for granted what the low end contributes daily. Bassline conversation, mainly I'm grateful for the lessons that the bass has taught me. Bassline conversation, they've brought me closer to understanding music's deepest truths tonight. There's subtlety, they're the most important element here. Bassline conversations appear to be the secret language that musicians truly speak. Yeah, yeah. To everyone who listens to the bass intently. Bassline conversations, we understand that low end holds the music soul. Can feel the bass communicating truth, yeah.
Five o'clock freedom. Dress code relaxing. Loosen ties and loose beats. Yeah, 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 yeah. Walk Walking out the office with my collar unbuttoned, loosen ties and loose beats. I'm done with corporate pretense for another day at least. Loosen ties and loose beats. Release from profession obligations into evening freedom. Loosen ties and loose beats. I need them, these moments when I shed the uniform of daylight. Loosen ties and loose beats. Tonight I'm letting go of everything that weighed me down today. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll stay out late unwinding to the rhythm of the city. Loosen ties and loose beats. So pretty is the contrast between who I am and working after. Loosen ties and loose beats. After authenticity that dress codes try to regulate. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll wait all day for this moment when I can finally relax. Something about this transition feels like liberation. Loosen ties and loose beats. Creation of my true self happens when the workday ends. Loosen ties and loose beats. My friends are waiting at the jazz club where we congregate. Loosen ties and loose beats. Yeah. That's the only way to go when you're trying to decompress from corporate life. Yeah. Loosen ties and loose beats. Despite the professional facade I maintain 9 to 5. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'm alive when evening comes and I can be myself completely. Loosen ties and loose beats. So sweetly the music washes away the stress of another day. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll stay right here in this moment between work and sleep. Loosen ties and loose beats. Run deep into my soul, providing necessary balance here. Loosen ties and loose beats. Up here to be my therapy for surviving corporate culture. Hitting the bar where the band plays every Thursday. Loosen ties and loose beats. I stir the cocktail slowly while the drummer sets the tempo. Loosen ties and loose beats. I know that I've successfully transitioned when the music hits. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll sit right here, unwind until the stress dissolves completely. Loosen ties and loose beats. I meet me the real version who emerges after office hours in. Maybe I'm living in compartments that don't connect. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll check myself before I lose my authenticity completely. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll meet the halfway between professional and personal identity. Loosen ties and loose beats. I see that balance is the key to surviving modern life. Loosen ties and loose beats. Despite the pressure be always on, I need these moments off. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll scoff at anyone who says that I should always be composed. Loosen ties and loose beats. Exposed as my humanity when the work mask finally comes off. So I keep coming back to this ritual weekly. Loosen ties and loose beats. Completely necessary is this practice of transition and release. Loosen ties and loose beats. My peace depends on having space where I can just exist. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll list this as essential to maintaining my mental health. Loosen ties and loose beats. My wealth is measured in the moments when I'm free to be myself. Loosen ties and loose beats. Yo, still the only way I know how to survive the corporate grind day after day, yeah. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll stay committed to this practice of unwinding properly. Loosen ties and loose beats. I see that self-care looks like jazz clubs after working hours. Loosen ties and loose beats. My powers of resilience come from knowing when to let things go. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll show up every week to the sanctuary resounding soul. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'm whole when I'm allowed to shed the uniform and just exist. Loosen ties and loose beats. I'll insist on maintaining this boundary between work and life. To everyone who needs a ritual to decompress, loosen ties and loose beats. Confess that we all need space to shed our professional masks. Loosen ties and loose beats. The tasks of daylight fade when evening brings us back to life. Hey.